Senator Angus King is among a group of U.S. senators that just returned from a trip to Greenland last weekend. This comes after the Trump administration put a pause on attempts to acquire the country. King was part of multiple meetings with Greenland officials and Denmark's Joint Arctic Command. He says officials in Greenland had felt anxiety and anger regarding U.S. threats of acquisition. King says they still expressed interest in developing additional national security assets. An estimated $14 billion investment was made for additional security in Greenland, according to King. He says additional cooperation is possible, but congregational interest in a possible acquisition is very low.
But the reality is that we can take further action even under the original 1951 treaty to develop additional national security assets without taking over Greenland or somehow interfering in their sovereignty and their desire to be self-governing.
A recent Greenland survey showed roughly 95% of its population was against joining the U.S. King also says that, according to Greenland's Minister of Commerce, significant mineral deposits along the Greenland coast are underdeveloped, but it would take significant investment to turn them into assets.